Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the whiteboard for week 2 of YouTube advertising. So last week we talked about the business case for YouTube, why it's exciting, why I really think that this is a platform where almost any brand can have success. This week, we're going to talk about the tactical ways you can actually find that success. So first things first, I want to talk about the biggest challenge, the biggest problem I see on YouTube is creative and placement alignment. Basically, too many brands treat YouTube either like TV, where they upload a 30-second or 15-second or 60-second spot and hope it's going to work, or they treat it like Meta and they only upload shorter, Meta-centric, Facebook-centric, Instagram-centric, TikTok-centric content. YouTube is neither of those things. Remember, it's both and it's neither. So the biggest thing to remember is that 45% of top performing YouTube videos are not standard lengths. They are 3.5 minutes. They are 78 seconds. They are 49 seconds. They are odd lengths, but they work. YouTube is a platform where you have a ton of freedom to create content that actually resonates with your audience. So spend a lot of time, number one, understanding that audience, and then number two, tailoring the content that you put in each of those placements, shorts, in feed, in stream, to the intent of that audience. So creative placement alignment, absolutely essential. Building out separate campaigns will help you with that because you can then focus the content for each campaign to the placement it is targeting. It is not something recommended by YouTube, but it works. It gives you the ability to really focus in and ensure that the content that you've intended for a specific audience makes it to that audience when they are in a certain specific frame of mind. Right? By default, Google is going to push against this. They will include all YouTube placements, and if you are in a demand gen campaign, they will also include display placements now. Make sure you get rid of that. The intent of somebody, for instance, for a demand gen campaign, in feed, in Discover, in Gmail, in stream, and shorts, those are 5 different intents. Those are 5 different use cases. Those are 5 different ad types. Jumping them all together is challenging. I love the promise of demand gen and I think it can work, but we don't deal in what can work. We deal in what does work today, and what works today is breaking these out and isolating, right? So here are the big rules that we talk about. Number one, for an in-feed or in-stream ad, you can feel free to go longer than you want. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I have a client that runs 10 to 12 minute promotional videos about their product where it's just the owner founder talking about the product, going into the features, talking about how he fabricated this component or why he designed a drawer this way. It's insane, but it works. And it works because number one, he understands his audience at a deep level. And number two, he has created content that appeals to those people. They will sit there and watch. The view rate from 0 seconds to well over 700 seconds, 12 minutes, is somewhere between 18% and 26%. Think about that. Like, for 26% of people, 1 in 4 people actually sit there on YouTube and watch an ad for over 10 minutes. There's no other platform in the world where that can happen. And if the reason you're not seeing that happen is either one, your content does not meet the needs or is not interesting enough to your audience, or number two, you haven't given it the opportunity. So yes, feel free, make longer videos, make them interesting, make them resonate with your audience, and you can run those longer videos on YouTube, in feed, or in stream pretty well. Now, the caveat I'll put here is the in-stream ads are often bumper ads, so you have to compete, especially if you run skippable, which is my favorite inventory type to run here. You need to tailor your video to the skippable format, which means having a big moment, something that rehooks your user at about 4.5 to 5 seconds. My favorite example of this, and we can link it in this video notes, is the purple mattress ad where Goldilocks drops a piece of plate glass with a bunch of eggs hot glued to it onto a mattress and begins this process at about 4.5 seconds if you time it out. The reason it's so genius, number one, who isn't curious about a little fairy tale character dropping a big plate of eggs on a mattress? Like, you want to know what's going to happen. This seems like an important thing. So it hooks. And number two, because by the time this process happens, you're already about 8 or 9 seconds into the video, which means mentally you have rehooked that person through about 30 seconds. That gives you, the advertiser, about 20 seconds to really explain the problem, set up another hook, set up another cliffhanger moment, and continually re-engage that user, all while they're already in the mood to be entertained and informed. So you can play with a longer form video here. And by the way, just to be very clear, we don't have any affiliation with Purple Mattress. I did buy one after I watched this, so advertising does work. But that video helped Purple become a unicorn. It was a fantastic video. It was about 4 minutes, I want to say. So they ran that as an ad on YouTube, and it helped them go from a couple $100 million in sales to $1 billion company. So it works. But for shorts, right? So if that's in feed, that's what works. Longer content, storytelling content, things that explore different storytelling angles. For shorts, this is your closest to TikTok or Meta. If you have high-performing existing assets on TikTok or Meta, try them on shorts alone. One of the big reasons why brands fall flat, especially when they move over to YouTube and they say, hey, my ads from Meta didn't work on YouTube. My first question is, well, did you only run them on shorts, or did you just run a YouTube campaign with them? Because if you just ran a YouTube campaign with them, your Meta-focused creatives were running on platforms that are focused on information, education, and discovery. That's not going to work. If you just ran them on shorts, you see a much different result. But just like social, when you find a winning ad on YouTube, especially with shorts, you need to iterate on it quickly. So try different hooks, try different storytelling angles, try different narrative arcs, jump right into the problem, tee it up, do something with a influencer, mimic or imitate viral trends, right? Play up with it, because shorts is as close to a social platform as you'll find. So playing around with that can pay tremendous dividends. Okay. So as you think about, okay, you now understand what platforms you're running on. You've broken it into 3 different groups: in feed, in stream, shorts. You've tailored your creative to the intent of each of them. Now what do we do? Number one, you got to do some audience research. SparkToro is probably your best friend for this, because they provide detailed information on YouTube creators and channels that your audience is likely watching. Why is that important? Because you can then go watch their videos, see exactly what they're doing. What phrases are they including? What narrative arcs are they including? What challenges or pain points? What are people saying in the comments? You can mine all of this information very easily and use it to tailor your creative that you've just done, so that it minimizes learning time, minimizes time to relevance, right? Then keep iterating, right? Create multiple iterations. You don't need production teams. You don't actually want production teams. What we want are quick hitting, easy to record, fast videos that you can churn out and edit and change over time. And then be authentic. Right? YouTube is a platform where more and more you see real creators, even the professional ones like Mr. Beast. He's still, while he has a whole video team, his stuff does not look uber polished. It does not look Hollywood. It looks real. The cuts are still a little funky. There's still like little elements of flaws, because authenticity is what sells on YouTube. So using that authentic, use an iPhone, use your Samsung, your Galaxy, your Pixel. You know, even if you use a DSLR, you don't have to make it perfect. It has to feel real and authentic as you go through. And then my last piece here, which I got these out of order, but I think this is the most important one, if you are going to be successful advertising on YouTube, the same rule applies to Meta. The best Meta advertisers spend time on Meta. They understand what works. They see what works. The best YouTube advertisers spend time on YouTube. They see what works, and then they use those trends, they use those learnings to inform how they create content. If you're like, I don't even know what to try. Well, here's 7 angles that we try all the time, right? A how-to, a challenge, a problem, a paradox, do's and don'ts, X reasons why, and stats, right? Very simple, very quick angles that any person who knows this could probably rapidly read. 6 reasons why you should use X company to replace your Windows. 3 reasons why you should consider this. Is your night cream causing more wrinkles than not, right? Very simple hooks that you can very quickly iterate on. So you've got alignment between creative and placement and audience. Now all you have to do is determine how you're going to buy. So for YouTube, there are really 2 primary campaign types, although there are 3 that you access. So number 1, let's deal with PMax. PMax accesses all of YouTube inventory, but gives you very little control over it. I do not like PMax for YouTube, but it exists. What we like for YouTube, what we use is either demand gen, which is formerly YouTube for Action, or standard YouTube video view campaigns. Each of these 2 campaigns has different targeting options, which is infuriating. Demand gen gives you a little bit less control over what placements you have, but you can still select in-feed, in-stream shorts, YouTube, but you also hit some limitations on like the placement targeting. YouTube standard awareness targeting actually gives you the ability to target not just specific audiences like lookalikes or custom segments, but you can actually target specific placements down to the channel and video level. That's not something you get anywhere else. So if you wanted to run ads against a competitor's website, you can. If there's an aggregator or a well-known influencer in your space who has a video about a topic you care about, and you can design a video that runs right on top of it, that's amazing. You know, somebody's going to watch how to fix a dishwasher. You can run a video specifically targeting that challenge, that pain point, right? That's amazing. All of a sudden, you just jump right ahead. You give them the information they want right on time. And the final piece, the one that I want everyone to think about, is the actual keyword data. Google has the world's most valuable treasure trove of user data, right? We tell Google our deepest, darkest secrets, either between Gmail, searches, Drive, Workspace, you name it, Google's got it. All that data can be used to target videos, so that if you are a home repair company, amazing. Somebody that's been looking for a new roofer, that's a really expensive keyword from paid search, but somebody who's looking for a roofer near me or how to repair my roof, you could run YouTube videos to that person and show them your stuff so that when they see your search ad, or when they see your brand show up in an AI overview, or when they see your brand show up on Meta, all of a sudden they're more likely to click. It's like, I know those guys. They make those YouTube videos. They were really helpful, right? This is what I'm talking about with like a more complex attribution, but it's also incredibly powerful to be able to reach people as they are exploring solutions without paying the premium associated with a direct response search-centric strategy, right? So if you are thinking about YouTube, start with these 2 campaign types, break it out by actual feed, design your creative for the placement that you are doing, do your audience research, tailor your creative to that audience and that placement, and then evaluate it using a big picture holistic strategy. That sounds like a lot, but it's not that much. And if you pull it off, you will see that YouTube rapidly becomes one of your most profitable and valuable channels. Talk to you next week.